Yes, we're back again. Kristi and Katie, your crime time friends. Stories, justice, laughs collide. True Crime Squad, come join the ride. Grab the clues, let's take a stand. For victims' voices, hand in hand. True Crime Squad, it's time to shine. Season 6, your turn, your time. True Crime Squad, where justice meets hilarity.
Hey everybody, welcome to the True Crime Squad. I'm Kristi Brower, here with my sister, co-host, and partner in crime, Katie Weaver. Hey Katie, how's it going?
It is going well. Going well now. I had quite the weekend.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Oh my gosh. We went to Boise on Saturday morning to go to a Boise State basketball game, which was great, and hang out with our kids. We went to an Irish pub for dinner. It was so much fun. Got up
Awesome.
Sunday morning, went to a really cool, like, kitschy coffee shop downtown that Micah wanted to try out that was really cute. Like, we just had a really fun time, wandered around downtown. Just, it was
Yeah.
awesome. Great trip. Then we headed home. And by Bonners Ferry, Idaho, which is only just a little into an hour into our trip, our radiator had a massive meltdown. It's the part of the radiator that cools the transmission cracked and was blowing
Yikes.
stuff everywhere, and like we could not go further without, risking damage to our transmission. And this is our
Yeah.
car that we just bought a few months ago, our new Hummer. And so
Dang
it
it.
just it super sucked. And luckily, Scott's brother-in-law and sister have a big truck and access to a big trailer, so they very kindly got in their truck and drove to us in a terrible snowstorm on the southeast Idaho side. It made it to us about 9 p.m. So we sat at a grocery store slash convenience store like parking lot for about 5 hours, just hanging
Oh
out,
my God.
getting the dogs
Yikes.
out to potty here and there, wandering in to buy something to eat, use their bathroom. It was something. But luckily I'm in the middle of a really good book. But
That is good.
so they loaded us up and we followed them home. Our kids had one of our cars, so they brought it to us. So we have a car. Like it all worked out and in lots of ways that we're extremely blessed and lucky. But holy moly, what a day! We didn't get home and get into bed till almost 2.
Ugh,
Yeah.
that's hideous.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it.
Yeah. Wild. So I guess pay to play. I guess.
I guess so. I mean, this shit does happen,
Mm-hmm. No,
unfortunately.
luckily, my husband's a mechanic. He can fix it. It's not the end of the world. It seems like the
Yeah.
transmission is just fine. So this is just going to be, a radiator fix, and we'll certainly live through it. But holy moly, yeah,
Yeah,
just
that
not
made
what
for
you want to see happen.
a dang long day. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, and Scott's usually the one that goes and bails somebody else out when they have car trouble. Yet
Right. Yeah.
to have to be the bailee, he really, really super hated that.
Well, and it's pretty amazing that someone had access to a trailer big enough to haul your Hummer.
Mm-hmm. Luckily we didn't get cold. It was like 45 there. It was beautiful in Boise all weekend.
Oh,
And
good.
so we were warm, and then the kids brought our car. So we had the car to transition into when it got cold, and we were able to run the heat in there. So we really never got cold. That was a huge blessing, too. So, yeah,
Yeah.
boo, dumb. Could have been a lot worse, though. So, what do you do?
So glad to hear it.
Yeah,
Sounds like many of you in the uh, chat are freezing your buns off right now.
yeah. Polar vortex.
This huge
Yes.
polar vortex thing, it's not hitting us at all.
Mm-mm.
We're fine. We're totally fine.
It's beautiful here. We have some snow on the ground, but
We
today,
do.
sun's
And
shining.
it's
It was in the
cold, but it's
40s.
winter. It's supposed to be. Like,
Yeah, it's
we're
not
not
bad.
having like the super duper cold or anything.
Mm-mm. I noticed some friends in North Dakota were 38 below with wind chill a couple of days ago. We are just
Oh,
nothing like that
God.
at all. Yeah.
That's when you should just not get out of bed for a
Hmm.
week. Just stay
Yes.
in your bed. Don't even try to go anywhere. Start a car. Are you kidding me? Like, oh,
No.
no.
Mm-mm. Let your pipes drip, or your not your pipes. Let your sink
Yeah,
drip
your
just a
water.
teeny bit. If you get out of bed, it is
So your
only
pipes
to
don't
make
drip.
coffee or warm up soup. That's it. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. Victoria says it's 34 in Florida. I'm wearing socks to sleep. Wow.
Okay, I can relate to that, but
Hmm. I mean, We're pretty used to that kind of weather, but I can't imagine if you're from Florida that you are. So
Oh dear God, is this iguanas falling out of the trees weather?
I would imagine it's pretty close. Yikes.
We've heard concerning things in the past.
We have. I cannot imagine. Cannot. Christine says not cold in Phoenix. Yeah, it's more like Midwest and South. Like, I don't even know. I'm sorry, y'all are freezing.
Hmm.
19 in Wisconsin, real feel of 11. Yeah, but that's probably not that unusual for you guys, Natasha, is it? Pretty cold in Ireland. Oh, well, yeah, I heard a bunch of Ireland got a whole bunch of snow,
Oh, did they?
too.
Oh, wow.
So, just interesting.
Wow.
We're just kind of typical winter over here,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm kind of grateful for at
Kind
this
of
point.
atypical winter. Yeah, pretty mild.
Yeah, it's been fairly warm.
We were in Driggs on Friday. That's like clear up at the base of the Tetons, and it was 45.
Wow, that's
There's
really
a lot
good.
of snow on the Tetons, on the mountains, but yeah. Oh dear.
Wow.
Victoria said it's close. Scariest thing to see when I moved here. Iguanas falling everywhere. Oh, yikes.
Oh my God. I would
Mm-hmm.
definitely have a heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
I would also be feeling very obligated to warm them all up, though, which
You gonna
might
put them all
also
in your
be.
car? Put
I
them
mean,
all
I've
in your
heard
car.
about people putting them in their car and then they all wake up. Yeah, I cannot imagine. I would really, really
Iguanas,
like to see a video of that happening.
iguanas are kind of terrifying. They are so
Oh, terrifying.
ancient, you know? They're so
They are
prehistoric looking.
dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy.
Right? 45 is balmy. Right? It is here this time of year. We're like, oh,
Yeah.
I only need the lightweight sweatshirt.
Yeah.
We all see, we've got Miss Sandy back here. She's been
Yes.
very, very, she's so funny. Sometimes she's like on me all day every time I walk past my office door. Is it time? Is it time? And then other times I don't even see her all day. And she was all on it today. She's been ready to do this show for like 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, we have lots of true crime for you all, as you can imagine.
Listen, I think Sandy was here because she heard that we have the funniest segment ever tonight. I think that's what
I
she
think
heard.
probably
But we got to
that's
do
what
the
she
other
heard.
stuff first. Yeah.
We got to do the other stuff first. So I know you're going to kick us off with a little bit of WTF news.
Holy moly. Yes. Well, we've had a lot of stories lately about the police barging into homes and the wrong homes or homes of people who don't even live in places and killing innocent people. And my friends, it happened again. And this story will blow your freaking mind. This has happened in London, Kentucky.
Okay.
And this is the Laurel County police. So apparently there was a crime that was committed. There was a robbery. And this was several days ago, but let me get the right article pulled up here. So apparently there was a robbery of a judge's house. And that judge sounds like he didn't live there at the time, but it was his property. And a weed eater was stolen and a heater. So because that happened, of course, there was a search for that. Well, they believed that they knew who did it, a man named Hobart Buttery. And the reason they thought he did it is because he had worked for the judge at one point and had been asking for a job and had been told no. And then right after that, there was this robbery. So they thought, well, okay, maybe it was Hobart. And so they got their hands on Hobart, and he admitted to stealing those things. And that was at 7:30 p.m. on the night in question. Well, so bear that number carefully, 7:30 p.m.
Okay.
Well, the police also were trying to get a warrant to search Buttery's property to get those items back. So there's a call with dispatch, a conversation with dispatch that they're going to go into this house. They're going to go search this house. Okay. And this is at 11:50 p.m. Now, remember,
Okay.
they already have their suspect in custody, and they have
Right.
had for about 5 hours. We are looking for a weed eater and a personal heater. That's all.
Okay.
But they're going to go serve the search
Not the crime
warrant.
of the century by any means.
But they're setting out to serve the search warrant at 11:50 p.m. Well,
What?
there is a conversation with dispatch that they are going to serve the warrant at a place, an address of 489 Van Zant Road. It's on dispatch. There's a conversation. There's proof of this, right? Well, they didn't go to 489 Van Zant Road. They went to 511 Van Zant Road.
What?
And they stormed in the house. And a man pulled a gun on them. Because why were they there? And when
Right.
it's midnight and your house is dark and perhaps you're asleep and somebody blows through your door and storms into your house, you may very well get your gun because you think you're under attack for some reason.
Right.
Especially when you've done nothing wrong and maybe the last thought in your head is that that would be the police,
Police.
right?
Right.
Well, unfortunately, this gentleman here did pull out his gun to protect his home and his family because he didn't know he was charging in the door.
Right.
This is Doug Harless, and Doug was shot and killed.
Oh my God.
For what?
For
What?
nothing. They weren't even at the right house. Oh my God.
They were not at the right house, and this was about a weed eater and a heater, and they already had their suspect in custody.
And they thought that they needed to storm somebody's house over a weed eater and a heater?
Yeah,
What the fuck?
yeah,
Holy hell. That's hideous.
yep. It sounds like they discovered there were more items in total stolen. There were 7 items in total after more investigation. But initially, it was the heater and the weed eater that
But
is
we're
what they
not
were
talking
looking
about
for.
like high dollar or emergency must find immediately kinds of things.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God.
There's some big problems. First of all, a warrant has not been located. They say they have a warrant. A warrant has not been located.
Are you kidding me?
We don't know that they did have a warrant at this point, or if they did. As the police are reaching out to them, or sorry, as the press are reaching out to the London police, they're saying, we've had to turn everything over to the state police. We don't have any of it. Okay. So we can't give anything to you. We don't have it. We want the vest cam footage. Yeah, we don't have it. Everything they've asked for, the press has asked for, they've been told, we don't have it. You'll have to talk to the state police.
Well, that's
Because
a
there
really
is an
easy
investigation with the state
excuse.
police. But right. So the people in the town are furious. They are picketing.
Yeah.
They are screaming for transparency. One of their own was gunned down by the police for absolutely no reason at all. And
Right.
certainly not a break your door down situation, even if they were
No.
at the right house. There was no reason to go charging into that house at midnight, guns blazing, and shoot the first person you see.
They had the guy in custody for hell's sakes.
Yeah.
So they knew that guy was not their guy.
Who admitted to it? He admitted to it.
What the
They
hell?
knew they had the
What a-
right guy. Yeah.
My God.
So,
But how did they get the address wrong? I don't
How?
understand. If dispatch said 489, why did they go to 511?
why? Why indeed? Just all rared up. Super exciting. Just ready to roll. Trying to prove something for the judge. I mean, a lot of people are very bothered that this had to do with the judge's property. And at first it was said that it was the judge who signed the warrant, the victim. Then he made a statement that he couldn't have signed the warrant, so he didn't. He shouldn't have signed the warrant, but no one can find the warrant, so we don't know who signed the warrant or even if there was a warrant.
And did the warrant have the address on it? Because it should have.
Right. But does it even matter now? Somebody's
No.
dead.
They
Somebody
murdered
lost
that
their
man.
dad, their grandpa, their brother, their son, their friend,
Mm,
their coworker
it's
for
awful. God.
nothing. Nothing. Interesting like comments and interviews coming from people from London, Kentucky saying things like, "Listen, I'm a back the blue guy, but we've got to have some transparency here. We got to know what happened. Like we got to make sure this
Right.
doesn't happen again." And
You can't just
right.
go busting into somebody's house in the middle of the night and them defend themselves and then kill them and think it's okay.
Hmm.
He didn't do anything. You can't
No.
just go busting into people's houses like that. Since when is that constitutional?
Hmm.
You know?
Hmm. And you have a right in this country to defend your home
Yeah,
and
you
defend
do.
yourself. It's no surprise that people keep pulling a gun when this shit happens, and then the cops are like, "Well, they had a gun. We had to shoot them." It's their house. It's their house.
Supposedly everyone's allowed to carry a gun where the fuck they want in this country now, so
Yeah.
you can't have it both ways.
Right. Yeah, it is odd that a judge was involved. So we don't know if he signed the warrant or if he didn't, or where the warrant is. So there's a lot we don't know there. Uh,
Mm-hmm. No, that's so
but at
sad.
this rate, the community is screaming for answers, and I think they're probably going to at least get some of them because the state police is now involved, and people aren't backing down. They're picketing at the courthouse and at the police
I
station
hope
and
so, because how many times has
screaming
this
their heads
happened and
off.
then the investigation comes back with there was no wrongdoing.
So they're
You've
not
seen it?
calling it a no-knock warrant, but it appears that they initiated it as a no-knock warrant. Uh, News reports are saying that they barged in his house. They kicked the door down and barged in his
I
home.
mean, how could they possibly get a no-knock warrant for a few stolen items?
Right.
Like, they're not supposed to be granted except in like exceptional situations, and
Right.
certainly a weed eater and a heater and a few things.
Yeah. Yep.
How does that qualify?
Good question. Right. Paula said, I wonder if it would have happened even if he hadn't had a gun, right? So
Hmm.
what? He comes screaming out of his bedroom, wanting to know what the hell these people are doing in his house, and they shoot him anyway? I think it's
Yeah,
likely.
I
They
do
were
too.
obviously ready to shoot, and they did.
Yeah. And why did they need to be guns drawn anyway? They have
Why?
their suspect in custody. He has admitted to what he's done, but they need to bust into this house guns drawn. What was the threat?
Right. And why in the world do you need to execute a search warrant for some stolen property? We're not talking about guns. We're not talking about drugs. We're talking about a fucking weed eater. And we have to do this at midnight, guns blazing, to get a weed eater back? Are you sure?
Right. Like,
It's
what the hell is
maddening.
really going on here? Well, and like Joelle said, and I was thinking the same thing. Joelle says, I don't think our police department would do more than take a report for insurance. This is weird.
Right.
It is weird.
You can't miss or count out the connection to that judge. You just
No,
can't
you can't.
with all of this happening. Yep.
Yeah. Because, I mean, talk about overreaction.
Yeah, major.
And why would you need to go into a place guns drawn to get a freaking weed eater when the suspect is in custody?
Hmm.
God almighty.
Yeah. Yep.
What a mess. Oh,
We'll
I'm
keep
so
an eye on
sorry for
it.
that man's family.
I hope that more info comes
Awful.
out. You know, though, now it's an investigation, so we probably won't get more info for a long time because
No.
now it's going to be all battened down while they do their official investigation and stuff, which is really concerning. Yeah. Ooh. Christine said my friend had her door knocked down by police looking for her cousin. It was scary. They had to replace her door. Mm.
You know, and some police officers, they just live for that shit. I
Hmm.
had the police at my door one time several years ago because someone called because my dogs were barking in my backyard.
Hmm.
And that man hit my front door so hard, it sounded like someone was trying to pound it in. I was pissed.
Hmm.
And I yelled, I said, what in the hell? why do you need to pound on my door and scare the living shit out of me like that over dogs barking? What? But the guy was just all puffed up, like
Right.
he was
Yeah.
super important. And I was like, get the hell off my property. It was terrible. He scared the shit out of me. I've never, ever heard somebody pound on my front door that loud.
Yeah.
And
Well,
what
my
would be
best
even the
friend in
reason?
high
I have a
school.
doorbell.
Yeah. Right. My best friend in high school, her brother and his wife had been into drugs and into some trouble. And she and her mom went to their house for whatever reason. Nothing to do with drugs. They just went to their house, as you
Mm-hmm.
do with family. And when they got there, they were swarmed by police. They were drug out of their car. They were handcuffed and forced to sit next to the car for a few hours while they stripped the car out. They cut the seats open,
Oh my
cut with a
God.
knife, drug down, cut open every seat in the car. They searched the car top to bottom. They completely ransacked it. They destroyed the interior of it. Uh, they needed to use the bathroom. They refused to let them go. They were screaming at them, absolutely terrified them. And guess what they found? Nothing, because
Nothing.
they had nothing to do with drugs in any way. They
Jesus.
were just there to visit their family, and they absolutely destroyed their car. And there was no financial compensation for that in any way. That was just, oh well,
Oh my God.
shouldn't have been here.
The hell?
It was a
Uh,
very scary experience. Listen, the police have every right to do their jobs, and I support that. I want them to do that. But this over the top, violent, frightening, bananas stuff has got to stop. And no knock warrants have absolutely got to stop. No knock warrants need to be illegal. Yeah.
well, I'll bet you exactly what they did here was illegal. I'll bet you $100 they didn't even have a warrant.
It's
They
really looking
certainly
like it
didn't have a
probably
no
was.
knock. They certainly didn't have a no knock. Why
Yeah.
the hell would they get that? For we got to go find the judge's weed eater. Yeah, I don't think so, man.
Agree. Yeah. Yeah. Agree, Dari. There's lots of good police out there. These stories are so frustrating because I stand with a foot in both worlds.
Hell yeah, me
We
too.
I don't want to demonize the police, but we also have to hold the police accountable because power unchecked, as we know, turns into shit like this.
And it
Yeah.
has been happening for decades.
Yeah.
And I'm so goddamn tired of it continuing. How do we stop this shit? Who empowered those idiots to go into that house like that?
Yeah.
And for what reason? And they killed someone.
Yes,
God,
Ashley, that's happened to a 16-year-old black boy recently. Yep.
yes.
Yep. And again, he was home with a whole bunch of family members. They charged into the house at 5 a.m. looking for his brother for marijuana. And the brother didn't even live there, and he wasn't there. And this kid came out of his bedroom with a gun because their house seemed to be under attack, and
Right.
they shot and killed him. Not only did they shoot and kill him, he lived 8 minutes from emergency services, and they waited 50 minutes to get him to the hospital.
That's so hideous.
Yep. Yep.
And over weed. Over
Over
fucking
weed.
marijuana. Really? Like, come
Yep.
on.
Yep. Really, really scary. Yep. But that's why we got to tell these stories because we have to, again, expect better and demand better. And I'll tell you
We
what,
do.
great cops, they hate this stuff. They hate this stuff because they know this is
Right?
wrong. They're not okay with this kind of behavior at all. It makes
No,
them
but
look bad. It makes them very scary to their communities.
right.
Yeah, Sonia Massey, that's a good point,
Oh
Natasha.
my God.
Sonia
That
Massey,
case just makes me sick. It's so
who
awful.
was shot in the face. Yep,
Yeah.
yep. Daria, I didn't. She said, did you see their policeman jumped a veteran with dementia in Kentucky? He had a silver alert for him and the police beat him up. Oh my
I
God.
saw that. Yeah.
Oh, that is
So
so
ridiculous.
sad. Yeah. So we'll keep an eye on this one and see if anything else comes. I kind of feel like we'll talk about this case in 3 years when a report is finally released or some stupid thing. But
Right.
hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully it all comes out real fast. So with
I hope
that,
so.
Christy, I'm going to kick it over to you for our main case.
Okay. Well, it must be outrage day because meet this dumb bitch right here.
Mm.
This is Erin Strotman, former nurse who has now been arrested. This is so awful, you guys. Trigger warning. She has been charged with intentionally breaking the bones of infants in the NICU, in the hospital where she worked.
Yeah.
Can you fucking imagine?
I mean, first of all, do you know how hard it is to break the bones of newborns?
It's the first thing I thought of is they have really pliable bones.
They do. The thought that she's breaking their bones is hard for me to fathom.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
The other part of this, and I know you won't be surprised by this because I wasn't either, is that she was suspected of doing this in 2023 and she was suspended from her job for a year. And then guess what? They brought her back and the injuries to babies started up again.
Oh my
They
God.
actually gave her a second chance at this hospital
They
to do it
knew.
again and did not report
Oh.
it to the police the first time around. This shit is what drives me insane. And it happens in medical, it happens in
Mhm.
the police. Nurses, it happens with a lot and doctors too, that if they're doing something hurting people, rather than report them to the police, they just fire them and send them off to somebody else as somebody
Yeah.
else's problem. And that is exactly what happened with Erin Strotman.
Mhm.
So in the summer of 2003, there were 7 children with unexplained fractures in this hospital's neonatal care unit. The hospital is Henrico Doctors Hospital in Henrico County, Virginia. So they did an internal investigation, and these internal investigations are a bunch of bullshit because it means not reported to the police.
Right.
They didn't know about any of this till now. The police didn't. So the hospital suspended her from work for a year. Put her on paid, by the way, it was paid administrative leave for a year
Mm.
after the 2023 cases, and then was allowed to come back in about November. Of this year. And then guess what? Babies in the NICU started turning up with broken bones again. Can you imagine that they gave this person a second chance and did not tell the police when it initially occurred?
No.
It's unbelievable.
It's it's unfathomable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Were they all broken legs? Somebody was asking. I am not sure. I know that there were babies with broken femurs.
Mhm.
I'm not sure. She's only been charged with one incident right now because what they're doing is they are going back to through thousands and thousands of hours of surveillance video.
Mhm.
They have now found a particular incident with a particular baby and they have charged her with that.
Mhm.
But they are expecting that there are going to be more
Mhm. Yeah.
because they know there are more. Because suddenly, babies in the NICU just started breaking their legs and breaking their bones. Like, how the hell is that happening?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hideous.
Oh, it's unthinkable. Now
But
help
I agree,
me.
Donna. The police, the people at the hospital should go to jail. The people who
Right.
knew this
Should go
and
to
let her
jail.
come back and do it again? Why?
So a lot of things I'm reading, and correct me if I'm incorrect, because I haven't studied this as much as you have, that she seemed to have been targeting black children and brown
That
children.
is that. So that is being said. I have not seen that confirmed
Okay.
um, by official outlets yet, but there are a lot of people saying that because we don't know who all the victims are because they've only
Okay. So I
charged
don't
her
want to
with the
spread
one.
rumors. Okay. I'm glad you're.
But there is word on the street is that yes, that she was targeting black children. Can I just hit her with my car and just get it over with? Would that be all right? I mean, she really has no right to be anywhere in humanity.
Hmm.
If she is injuring infants in the NICU,
Right.
what the fuck, you guys?
This reminds me a little of Lucy Letby, except for these children
Right?
lived, but still.
Right. These children have lived, but my God, can you imagine
Well,
what they've been through?
these children lived, but to what end? When was
Right.
this going to ramp up
Mm-hmm.
to
When was
more
it?
than broken bones? Yeah.
I mean, they really just handed her whatever she wanted on a silver platter. They paid her for a year during the investigation, and then they reinstated her job so she could just do it again.
I just
How?
can't.
How are hospitals allowed to do shit like this? Because we know that this isn't the only one, because we've
No,
heard this damn story many times.
way too many times. Yep.
Yeah. It's so
Way, way
disgusting.
too
I
many
cannot
times.
even, like, what has got to be wrong with you to injure infants in the NICU?
I
Like,
can't.
the most defenseless humans you can possibly imagine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, lots of investigation continuing into her, obviously. She did see a judge and is being held without bond and is charged with child neglect and injury to a child, malicious wounding, and felony child abuse. That's what she's
Hmm.
charged with right now. Um, Court would not give her a bond. They appointed her an attorney. Um, she saw a judge on Friday, and she doesn't see the court again until March.
So I have a question because we have a listener tonight that is a
Mm,
NICU nurse. So
yeah.
I wanted to ask you if you're willing to chime in and chat. And I've seen you commenting a little bit. And I just want to know if we were right or wrong about that. Like a normal, a little bit older baby, their bones are pretty pliable. Is that the case for a NICU baby, or are their bones more fragile?
It's a good question. I've wondered,
Because
sadly,
I was,
sick to my
yeah,
stomach, what would
my
it
reference
take to
point is for a little bit older
break a
babies,
bone on
but for
an
a
infant
NICU
like that?
baby, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not that it makes it better. I'm just curious to know, like, does do injuries like this happen sometimes? Babies are sometimes born with a broken shoulder or clavicle or like a dislocated shoulder or something from a
Right.
hard birth,
From
but we're
birth.
talking about NICU babies. It's just
Yeah.
it just I don't know. I just wondered.
Already extremely vulnerable infants,
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Again, it reminds me of Lucy Letby. Just
Right.
just like that. Her babies were
I
also
know.
NICU babies.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, she says they are more fragile, but depends on how many days, weeks, months old they are. Sure. Okay.
Right. And we don't really know that yet. We do know that the hospital has shut their NICU down. They're not accepting any new admits
Hmm.
while they investigate this.
Uh-huh. Okay, she says
Uh, Good.
broken bones do happen in the NICU sometimes. Okay.
Hmm.
Which is
But
why
they,
maybe she got away with this for so long.
right.
Yeah.
But I mean, at this point, what they know is that they have evidence that she's doing
She
it
was doing it on
intentionally.
purpose. Yeah.
I mean, how sick and how cowardly can you possibly be?
And why? Why?
Right.
I
Why?
know. I'm trying to make sense of the nonsensical
I know.
again,
We
but
all we all want to know.
why?
So at this point, on the
Yeah.
charges that she's being held on, Felony child neglect can be up to 10 years of incarceration, and the felony malicious wounding is 20 years of incarceration. So she's facing 30 years right now because the child is injured and she does not get them help. So that's where the felony injury is, and then the neglect, because she knows that this is a child with a broken bone and is not seeking medical assistance for them.
Can you imagine, as another nurse in this NICU or a parent in this NICU, that you have this really fussy, unhappy baby that is in pain, and you don't know that somebody has snapped their little leg?
Yeah.
And it's so hard with babies and animals because, they can't just tell us why they're in pain and or why they're unhappy. Yeah. Okay. ES said she's seen investigations for some babies because of injuries. If they are chronically ill, there's other, extenuating circumstances. They could have fragile bones or more brittle bones,
Which I think
does make
that
sense.
is
But it
understandable.
probably also
but
is why she got away with this for as long as she did.
Is. But my God, they investigated her for a year.
Did they, though?
Right. Did they? Because then they let her come back. So what? They determined that she didn't do it? Except now they have evidence of one child that she, in fact, for sure did do intentionally.
Surely there'll be more charges coming. I'll bet there are.
Well, that's exactly what the police are saying, is that they're nowhere near done with this investigation, and that they believe that there are more charges coming. But apparently, it's thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of surveillance video trying to figure out what happened. They didn't really suspend her. She was suspended with pay while they investigated her for a year. So she just sat on her butt getting paid for a whole year. Then they let her come back, and she immediately did it again.
Yeah.
Like, this chick is not well, but most certainly should not be working around infants or any other living being,
Absolutely not. Somebody made a good point in the chat, like, is this, what is her pattern? Has she injured animals in the past? Like, what's her history and her pattern? It's a good question.
And we don't know much about her yet because this is all just coming out right now. But it is a good question. She's very young also. I mean, you saw the picture
26,
of her.
yeah.
Yeah, she's very young, and she's a young 26. I mean, look at her. She doesn't look 26.
No, she doesn't.
She's young, she's immature, and...
also terrifying, yeah.
Where is this hospital? It's in Virginia. Right, are they hard up for nurses? I think every hospital is hard up for nurses. I think that's a pretty much a standard, that we are always running at a deficit for nurses in the United States. But this is the Henrico Doctors Hospital in Henrico County, Virginia.
Okay. Wow. That is something.
Yeah. It really is. It's hideous. Of course we want her brought to justice and these babies to get what they need. But what I don't understand is, why is our medical system built up in a way that allows this shit to happen? Because how many of these cases have we reported on over the years of a nurse or a doctor doing abusive things, and instead of being, reported to the law, they're just laid off and some other hospital picks them up.
Right. Remember?
And they just continue.
Anesthesiologist out of Texas?
Yeah.
It was hurting
and
people
the surgeons
that accidentally killed a coworker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that surgeon recently that wasn't qualified to do surgeries that he was doing and
took out a guy's liver.
No, his
killed
spleen.
him.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be his spleen, but he couldn't tell the difference between his spleen and his liver.
That's right.
Right. They're afraid to get sued. They're afraid to get investigated themselves. But all that really is that they're just putting money over people. That's absolutely what it is they're putting money over people. And yes, the families of children who have experienced this need to sue the shit out of that hospital.
You betcha.
For allowing this, not reporting it. I mean, Imagine if your baby was in the first round of kids, of infants that got injured, when they just put her on leave.
Yeah.
And then you find out they let her come back.
Yeah.
That is just
But
beyond.
just like these cases that we've covered lately of the police making terrible decisions, it just makes the jobs of good police harder. Just like these make the jobs of good healthcare harder. Because of course, there are many, many, many wonderful doctors and nurses and other healthcare, personnel that are doing everything they can for their patients.
Right.
But this stuff, this has got to stop.
It has. Yeah. The covering up and protecting of dangerous people in the United States. I know it's happening in other places too.
Yeah.
But in the US is absolutely disgusting. We see it all the time. ES says, I've seen more broken arms in the NICU. I didn't see an x-ray of broken ankle shown for this case, and there could be more of an explanation for that since nurses have to squeeze the ankle for lab draws. Right, yes, but they've got some video that is apparently
but
an
again,
intentional act.
Those are injuries that they probably justified letting her come back, thinking, okay, maybe she was a little rough, or this was just a particularly fragile baby. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like they have some abuse video. Yeah.
Yeah. And searching for more. Apparently there's a lot of film to go through here, but
but thank you
this
so
hospital
much for your expertise. It's highly appreciated.
We appreciate that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
This hospital needs probably shut down over this. I mean, if you won't, and not just can't, but won't protect the most vulnerable patients in your hospital, what are you doing? Why do you even exist?
Yeah.
Hideous.
Yeah.
Well, with that, I know Katie's going to perk us up a whole lot with this last segment. So please maintain your outrage for this situation. Also, get ready because this is funny as shit.
Uh-huh. I'm doing a crime news update for this. It could have been WTF. It maybe could have been stupid criminals. I didn't know where to go with it, but it's pretty great. Somebody asked to see my fox shirt, so I'm going to show you really quick. This is what it looks like. After we saw all those foxes on my birthday, I bought 5 fox shirts. That's all I'm thinking about. Right.
Yeah.
So this story, and you may have seen some of this, but I'll bet you haven't seen all of it. This came out of Peru. The police in Peru have been wildin', man. They're trying to get drugs off the street. They have a very serious drug problem in Lima, Peru. And they are doing everything they can to run down the criminals. And one of their problems is being seen and people getting away before they can get to them. So around certain holidays, they came up with a clever idea. We'll dress people up in costumes. And we'll send them in because maybe people won't suspect that. So there's been a video floating around of the Grinch, of a police officer dressed as the Grinch. He has a sledgehammer. He beats down the door of a house. They all charge in. So I was going to bring that to you guys. But then I discovered that they've done this a bunch of times. So I put together a compilation of 5 videos of various things they have done. So we have the Grinch. We have another Christmas theme that's more like an elf and a Santa Claus. We have the Avengers. We have a Halloween theme where we have Freddy Krueger and a couple others I wasn't sure, and another. So I'm going to just let you watch it. I will tell you if you're listening and not watching, some of it doesn't have much sound. So do your best. And everything that has sound, of course, is in Spanish. So do your best there too. But you guys, these guys are the best. Here we go.
¡Alto, policía! ¡Policía! ¡Policía!
Yeah, never really breaks character.
No.
Por favor, muéstrame la cámara, por favor. Tenemos
Ahí deja.
dentro de esta
Oh,
corteza,
Grinch gloves getting away?
tipo corazoncito.
Oh, he's finally gets the gloves off. There you go.
Está perfecto, ¿no? Las bolsitas. Y las bolsitas con cloro. A ver.
He's got his gloves back on.
Con motivo de las fiestas navideñas, utilizando el ingenio y la astucia del grupo Terna, utilizamos al Grinch. Después de una actividad por Navidad, pasó desapercibido la presencia de Grinch. Fue el que inició el operativo, rompiendo la puerta de acceso, y bajo la figura de flagrancia logramos capturar a estas 3 vendedoras de drogas que hoy día serán puestos a disposición de la autoridad judicial competente.
He's putting him in the car.
All right, now this one is around Valentine's Day, and they dress a guy up as a giant teddy bear, an agent.
Oh,
Tranquilo.
Or someone out of the house.
Graba. Yo, si te siguen usando, eres tú una niñita, está mal de la cabeza.
oh.
Yikes.
Oh, darn it. Not good. Handcuffing people in that outfit.
Fíjate si hay más cosas. Chico. No, fíjate si hay más. Cuidado con Luis.
How adorable.
Oh my God.
Súbela atrás.
I mean, that costume is precious. The
Oh,
eyelashes,
it really
the bow.
How embarrassing. You've been arrested by this absolutely darling teddy bear.
Look at how much was there.
Holy shit.
Oh,
Oh. Uh-oh.
my goodness. All right, here we go again with the sledgehammer. Is this the
Oh,
same
boy.
person?
Maybe it is. Maybe that's his signature move with that sledgehammer.
Ahí, la raja está abierta, la raja está abierta.
Wow.
Con razón olía, pues.
Y comienza a contar las municiones.
Is that
¿Ya?
heroin?
3, 4 municiones.
4 municiones.
Hay que asumir tu responsabilidad, no mames, ¿verdad?
I mean, that's not embarrassing at all.
Oh, my goodness.
What a smart thing, though. I mean, talk about startle the hell out of people. They don't know what's happening. Oh, my God.
Now, here's the Avengers video. Unfortunately, I had to take all sound out of because everyone I found had Avengers music.
Oh.
We would for sure get in trouble with YouTube for that.
100%.
But-
Yes, we would. We're walking the straight and narrow, you know.
Yes. Right. Just a few
Wow.
short weeks ago, we wouldn't have cared. But
Oh, God, you get arrested by the freaking Avengers. That's so
Avengers.
funny. Captain America comes in and arrests you.
Yeah.
But
Better.
what a brilliant way to take people off guard, man. They don't know what the hell's going on.
absolutely.
Just
But the way they stay in costume the whole time.
yeah. That's true though, Paula, that maybe they're agents that are protecting their identities too by being dressed in costume the whole time.
Great point.
And the Avengers stick you in the paddy wagon to haul you away, and
Apparently they do.
maybe they're just trying to embarrass people into going clean on crime here.
Uh-huh. Now, this is these are the Halloween costumes. There's Freddy Krueger. I don't know who the other two are supposed to be. The Freddy Krueger is terrifying.
The blonde is pretty hilarious.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Freddy. Oh, I see Freddy Krueger. Okay. Oh wow. Oh wow. Freaking Freddy Krueger arrests you. Oh my god. They are terrifying.
They are.
Look at the
Even has knives.
holy hell. Look at that one pulling their dress back. Pulling their dress down in the back. Oh my god.
So yeah, that's what they're doing. So
It's
funny,
so
totally
smart.
ingenious. But
Yeah.
they're really working hard. There was another video, I didn't get it saved, but it was actually of some of these same guys dressed as the three wise men riding horses. And they were in these huge, their costumes were elaborate, and they were masked, and this was during COVID when they were really struggling to get COVID under control and to get people to isolate and wear masks. And so they did a run through the city, a march through the city as the three wise men wearing their masks to model that behavior. It was actually pretty cool. But
That is.
at any rate, yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a super fan now, so we'll keep an eye out for more of
Hell
this
yeah.
behavior. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But can you imagine, like, if the Grinch came busting in your door with a sledgehammer? Would you immediately think cops? Probably not. You know, like, what?
Well,
You might start wondering if you maybe took a little too much of your own product.
you're hitting your own sauce. The only thing that strikes me is if there are children in these homes, how
Yes.
scary it would be for the Grinch or Santa Claus to come bursting through the house with a sledgehammer and grab your parents. And you
Yes.
heard lots of children crying, and I don't know if they were in
did.
those homes or just neighbors or whatnot. That was the only thing that I was like, that has got to be scary as hell for kids.
It's got to be. But I
But
would imagine it actually cuts down on, like, them immediately firing on the police because you're so caught off guard by what the
Yes.
hell is this
Mhm.
that they can get a hold of people before anything real terrible happens.
the
Wow.
teddy bear that was staged to look like he was delivering like a Halloween, teddy bearogram or something, and got the
Yeah.
criminal to come outside.
Yeah. Right, and the teddy bear hugs you after the arrest. I did see a picture
Yes.
of the Grinch standing with during their mug shots, like the Grinch was standing there with them. And
Hmm. Also, the Grinch costume was fantastic. So good.
yeah,
Yeah. So there you go. So heavy show tonight, but we're ending it with a bang.
yeah, we are. That is so clever. We're gonna have to keep an eye on those guys, see what they come up with next. But the Avengers was so great. Like the
Can we get
Avengers
a
come in and
Cupid?
arrest you.
Can we get a Cupid?
Let's get a Cupid.
Or how
Maybe
about a
with
fleet
real
of
bow and
Cupids?
arrow?
Yes.
I don't know, that sledgehammer.
Bow
Holy
and arrow,
shit.
the diaper, all of it. Yes.
Yeah, that would be great. I
Yeah.
would love that.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Well, it is Monday. We are back. And guess what? The holidays are over.
Mhm.
The holidays are over. Yes. So we are just back to our normal schedule. Life returns fucking finally to just back to normal, which I am very grateful for. I love the holidays, but I'm also so glad when they're over and I can just, they're all put away in my house and I can just go back to my normal life. Yay.
Yeah. Have more
And
time for just creative endeavors for fun and
yes, very
Yeah.
much so. And, we will be here all week. So we've
Yeah.
got lots more great true crime coming your way. So
Mhm.
don't miss what we have coming up. I don't know. Some of you have trouble finding this live. YouTube is YouTube. We don't know.
They
never
be
know.
YouTubing. Yep.
Yeah, they do be YouTube. And we are not covering any trials right now, although we'll be keeping an eye out because Ms. Lori Vallows is coming up at the end of jury selection on March 31st.
Yeah.
So it's not that far away. I don't know if we've got anything before that though.
I don't think we do. Little Charlie Adelson lost his appeal. So
I saw that.
Sucks to
Oh my
suck,
gosh.
Charlie.
Also, Jake Wagner got 32 years. What?
with
I'm
the
gonna go in-
possibility of parole.
I'm going to be going into depth on that tomorrow. I just was like reeling. Everyone's reeling. They killed
Yes.
9 people. How can this fucking be?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well,
so
the oratory he gave to the audience, preaching
gross.
to the families of the people he killed.
Disgusting.
Real gross.
Yeah. So we're going to get into all of that tomorrow. Our other shows are showing on YouTube. Okay, good to know. Good to know. YouTube does what YouTube does. It's tough to know. Thank you, Tammy, for the sticker. Our super chat is on. We are back to being monetized, so that's nice.
That is nice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll learn a lot more about what's going on with Jake Wagner tomorrow. Be prepared to be furious because holy shit, you guys.
Yeah. Bring your punch pillows. You will need them.
Yes. But with that, you know it. We are the True Crime Squad. Thanks for being here.
Take care.
Season 6, we're back again. Kristi and Katie, your crime time friends. Stories, justice, laughs collide. True Crime Squad, come join the ride. Grab the clues, let's take a stand. For victims' voices, hand in hand. True Crime Squad, it's time to shine. Season 6, your turn, your time. True Crime Squad, where justice meets hilarity.